Don't say I never taught you anything. Did you know that if you put grapes in your lips, you'll look like a goat?
Someone that's seeing this right now, can you take me off the streets? I'm done. I've been single for a month and I just got out of a 6-year relationship, but I'm done. I don't like being single. I don't know how y'all do it. I do not know how you all wake up every morning and you're single. No, I need to be in bed with my partner. I do not want to be single. I do not want to go to the club. I do not want to go anywhere. I want to be in a relationship. I'm 25 years old. I want to have a baby. I want to get married. I'm a diamond in a rough. I'm a hidden gem. All these other girls out partying, blah, blah, blah. Put me in another 6-year relationship right now. Hopefully this gets redirected to my husband because I'm done with the single life. Done. Oh, and you have to have money.
There's an epidemic of men not approaching women at the bar. Let's talk about it. Men are afraid of being rejected.
But I bet you 90% of the women will actually not reject you if you approach them right.
What's the right way?
Reading their body language. If you're gonna go up to a girl that is clearly like dancing with her friends, like yes, of course she's gonna like ignore you. Or if she's like in such a serious conversation up in the corner, she doesn't want to be approached. You're probably approaching those girls. That's why your like ego is like bruised because you're getting rejected by girls like that.
Only because they're not at the bar looking for a guy, because they're dating someone, had just gotten out of a relationship, or they're just trying to catch up with their friend.
But like we still want to be approached.
And I think a lot of girls do. Even if we're not into you, it flatters us and we'll kindly shoo you away if we're not into it.
But not really like shoo you away. Like it might be like, okay, like so good meeting you, like we're gonna go to the bathroom or we're gonna go grab another drink. But it's not like a rejection. Like,
yeah.
Okay, bye.
We're gonna go out tonight and see how hard it is. Because it's not hard.
It's not hard. We've done it a lot.
We're gonna report back tomorrow, I promise. We have to take our own advice.
It doesn't matter how a man approaches, when he approaches, or where he approaches. If these women do not want to be approached, they don't want to be approached. Yeah, a man might be able to get better at approaching and reading body language, but maybe at some point in time, women could get better at the signals that they send out. I mean, come on, guys.
Yesterday, I heard a woman say that she discarded a guy she went on a date with because he mentioned that he liked football and she wasn't into it. That there was no way she could be with him because she just couldn't sit through a football match, nor live or on TV. She later said that she was desperately looking for a partner, but she felt that there was nothing she needed to change in order to be married. And I was thinking to myself, how entitled have women become to think that a man has to accept every single one of her traits, likes, dislikes, and demands, and immediately assume that there will be no required effort from us whatsoever. And honestly, it's sad that we walk into relationships and marriages like this and then end up blaming the guy for the breakup because he simply didn't meet our needs. I'm telling you, y'all better check yourselves because men are checking out faster than you're realizing. If you think I'm exaggerating, hit the comment section. I'm not playing with you. Girl, eat the popcorn, sit quietly, and enjoy the match. Grow up.
If you're gonna get a neck tattoo, make sure it's not one that people can make fun of easily, because I get chicken wire on a very frequent basis, and then people refer to me as a rooster gobbler. See if you can like figure that one out, because of the chicken wire on my neck. It's supposed to be honeycomb. I've gotten some, yeah. So get one that is not easy to make fun of. It's not for the weak.
Chicken wire is crazy.
I've been dating this guy and I've been meeting his friends and a lot of his guy friends, and I'm like, what about this? What's not crackling here? And I realized it's because they're all straight guys. And I don't hang out with straight men. I only hang out with girls and gay guys. So, which is like, I'm like, you guys are boring. You guys are boring. I don't want to hear about fishing. What am I going to do? I got to find a way to get the gays. I got to finagle the gays somehow into this. I don't know what to do. They're not going to want to do that. What are straight women supposed to do?
Take an interest in other people like you want them to take an interest in you. Easy peasy.
Where's
there's the men that are like holding it down, that's like actually the leader, that actually tells you what it is that's going on and takes control and is the disciplinary action. Like, I have such a hard independent woman personality, and I need someone to put me in my place. I need someone to be like, hey, this is what we're doing today, so you just chill and sit back. Yeah, what happened to this?
Where y'all at, fellas? Where y'all at? Who want the job? She looking for y'all. She looking for y'all. Come out, wherever you are. She looking. She's cute. Which one of y'all want her? Go ahead, man.
The other day, I got an email where someone anonymously was offering me $600 for my used underwear. So I went into my restaurant job and I told my coworkers about it. And Herbert, the bartender, just goes, I'll do $700.
You'd rather hold your dignity? You ain't holding no lady in your bed because you scared you holding your dignity. Because you ain't getting no play. If you not approaching nobody.
Is it just me, or is watching women beg for attention and beg for men to approach getting more and more cringe? Like, in the midst of her trying to shame men for retaining their dignity, she's losing all of hers. Literally, through the art of shaming, begging men to approach and begging men to give her attention.
Well, you're not going to get any play. I don't have to. Not from you. There are plenty of other women out there that are not going to shame me and try to force me to approach them and try to reject me just because they want attention and validation.
How would you feel if you were in a relationship with someone and they do not talk to you throughout the day? Like, they're waking up in the morning and the first thing they do is not text you a good morning text. They're not thinking about you. They're like, I gotta get up and I gotta go. They're not texting or calling you throughout the day. They're not checking in on you. There's literally no interaction until the very end of the day when they're like, oh, let me just real quick call her or him. Let me just see how they're doing. And there's a quick call and that's like, hey, I'm so sorry, my day's been so busy. It's life is crazy right now. I'm so sorry. Here's what happened today. And you get like a brief 5 to 10 minute conversation and you're like, I'm so sorry. I'm just exhausted. I'm so tired. I gotta go to sleep. I'm sorry. I'll talk to you tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes in the same pattern. How would you feel? So when you're building a relationship with someone, obviously a lot of people say like communication is the foundation of most relationships. You want to make sure that you're communicating with one another because that's how you build your relationship. That's how you grow in your relationship. So why is it that if we wouldn't treat our romantic partner like that, why do we treat God like that? Why do we tend to wait until the very end of the day to have conversation with him, to pray to him, instead of waking up in the morning, that'd be the first thing that we do is go to him in prayer? Why are we casting our worries and our cares on him at the end of the day when we're exhausted? Why wouldn't we just fuel our body with him? Why wouldn't we fuel our mind and our soul and our spirit with God in the morning and start our day off like that? Why wouldn't we be talking to him throughout the day? That's how you build a relationship with someone, right? So why are we treating God the same way that we would never treat that person, or we would distance ourselves from someone who treats us like that? Just food for thought.
A woman in the comments said, do people not have jobs these days? You know, I agree with what she's saying, but I also agree with the comments, so I get both sides of it.
Quick question. Why does every single straight man I have ever known have this weird obsession with going to Japan? Like, sure, I want to go too, but like the passion that they have, the pull that they feel since such a young age, like I will never understand.
Got guys in the comments saying anime, food, ninjas, samurai, vending machines. Watched Tokyo Drift when I was 7. I want to go now. But of course you have women in the comments saying of course you have women in the comments saying this is a turn off and definitely a red flag. Good grief.
I think it's funny when people are like, oh, I bet you have so many guys after you. You got so many hoes. No, my phone's dry. And it's because anytime a man I don't know approaches me or so much as speaks to me, I feel a deep, unrelenting, visceral anger take over my body, and it takes all of my willpower and concentration not to rend that man's flesh from his bone on the very spot where he stands. So yeah, consider it a favor.
Tell me I'm fat and I need to lose weight. You're fat, you need to lose weight.
You know what?
What?
You don't say that to the girl.
She said to us to tell her.
Doesn't matter what she said.
And Mum said it as well.
Noah, you're a boy. You don't say it to a girl.
Yeah, exactly. Don't ever call a girl fat. Let's open these.
I put on a podcast.
No, let's open these ones.
You listen.
That's crazy because he's not the only one that says something.
There are so many different tiers to riding.
Let's go ahead and go to the next clip.
I FaceTimed one of my homies and I was talking to him while I was doing my makeup and he was like, oh my God, you look pretty. And I was like, thank you. You never compliment me. And he was just like, yeah, you know, because it feels scary. And I was like, what do you mean by that? And he was just like, being attracted to you is like, it's a weird concept for me. And I'm thinking, okay, because we're friends, like, you know, there's nothing more than that. We're just homies. He was just like, it's like being attracted to Makima. And I was like, Makima from like Chainsaw Man? He was like, yeah. He was like, it's like, I guess the female equivalent would be like being attracted to Yujiro Hanma. And I was like, do you think you're in danger? Like, do you think I'm dangerous? Do you think I would hurt you? And he said, yes, actually. So that's been my day. You know, how are y'all doing?
Let me explain something, and hopefully this makes sense. When you've been moderately good looking for most of your life, able to pull, and you get older and you say that you care more about the personality and how you get treated, you're dead ass serious. If you were not cute when you were young and now you're good looking and it's like abs and all of that, great, cool. But it's not that impressive to somebody who's been there, done that. I'm so sorry. I hope that makes sense. Respectfully.
It's not about you. It's not about you. You guys are not that important. It doesn't matter what you like. There are plenty of women that like that. And they're going to go for that man. Well, I've already been here. I've been doing it. So you just get in here and da-da-da. Be quiet. Women are going to be flocking to that man because they think he looks good. And he's going to take full advantage of it. You can be mad, but take a nap. You'll feel better.
So I'm trying this thing where I'm actually like getting out of my house, trying to go out and meet people, meet my person. Deleted the dating apps because they're just trash. So I'm trying really hard. And, but tonight, you know, it's starting to just get really expensive. Tonight I got hit with a nice $35 parking ticket, because I guess I paid the wrong meter. These stupid apps that you have to like download and pay, and I don't know. I did pay it, but I guess I paid the wrong meter. Between this and the couple of drinks I bought and the drive there, the gas, the parking, like all the things, it's really starting to add up. So if you're out there and you're hearing this, speed it up if you could, because I'm going broke.
Read this comment, ladies. Read this comment. This is a real ass comment. A whole set of viable ass words that are played out in real time in real life. He is responding to a video with a statement. The man said on the video, I married your baby mom, or something like that, to the fact that he said, but he said it's effed up the fact that another man can say that. You married her, but I got the highest honor out of her first, and you raising my kid, which is a loud, profound ass goddamn statement. And even me as a woman will look at that like, damn. So I can only imagine how a man now looks at that on the opposite end of it, like, I got the highest thing out of her, which is her laying down on her back, and I produced a whole nother human being with her. And the fact of the matter is, you're with her now, and you made my baby mama your wife. But your wife is my baby mama, and you're taking care of my child. Ooh, God, oh my God. If I was a man, that shit would hurt my heart. I don't know. I ain't never had nobody take care of my kids. No other man. Like, oh, man.
And as a woman, this is what your man has to go through. This, and when you're talking about me and my kid are a package deal, you gonna love us and make us priority. So he's got to hear your trash talk, and then he's got to hear the trash talk from your baby daddy, your bum baby daddy. So think about that when he's taking you out on a date and you want him to pay for your babysitter.
This may be controversial, but the majority of parents out there are raising boys that are weak. There's not a lot of warrior men that honor and respect women, warrior men that open the doors for women, warrior men that write their number down and actually want to build an authentic relationship with a woman without just trying to go get you know what. Through Snapchat, through TikTok, all of these things. We need to raise boys to be men with values, respect, and honor.
I have a question for the guys because I really want to understand how you guys approach girls. Because tell me why I was at Wingstop after a full day of dance rehearsal and it was pouring rain, so my hair was crazy, I was sweaty, I was looking like a mess. But then I got approached by like 2-3 guys who asked for my phone number. But then when I'm looking hot and I have a cute ass outfit and I look good, nobody ever approaches me. Even if I lock eyes with them, like, why is that the case? Is it that guys think like girls are more like vulnerable or more approachable when we look a little messy, and like guys find us intimidating when we look good and put together? Or I don't know, what is it? Let me know in the comments because I've seen a pattern.
Stop, because if some of the guys were to find out some of the stuff I did during our talking stage, they would have put a restriction order on me.
For instance, I was talking to this one guy and he was always making excuses as to why he couldn't hang out with me. And one of the reasons was because he was always at the gym. And when he told me the name of the gym, I was like, instant red flag. Because this gym has a reputation and not a good one. So in one of my Delulu moments, I decided to drive up there and visit the gym. And not because I wanted to join, but because I wanted to see if he was actually there. So I went up kindly to the front desk girl and I was like, hey, my fiance is here. He's been acting really suspicious lately and I just want to know if he checked in today or not. She was like, hey, sorry, like I can't give that information. So I was like, all right, well, can you just give me a tour of the gym? And I just can't believe I went out of my way to this guy's gym just to see if he was there or not, because he wasn't replying back to me.
A dude in the comments said, I loved her. I loved her in Return of the Jedi. God, dog.
I'm in the war on the side of the chop man epidemic girl. She's right. Right. Y'all are ugly. You don't put effort into your appearances. You don't have hobbies, and you expect women to want you. And you're gonna screenshot pictures of me and her while she's talking in an effort to make her feel ugly, when in reality, you would cry of happiness if me or her or any of the women in her comments section touched you with a 10-foot pole. Why? Because you're a virgin. And let me make one thing clear. I'm not saying this applies to every single person who might disagree that there's a chop man epidemic. All I'm saying is, men didn't used to have to put that much effort into having an actual personality because they had a bank account. And until the 1980s, women couldn't own those. We couldn't even own our own businesses until the 90s.
And now we have to pay extra taxes to the government to subsidize your $120,000 a year project manager job where you send emails no one reads and start meetings that could have been emails nobody reads. Men made the world and now we have to share it with you even though we don't get anything for it. And this is what happens when you do that.
Going and calling every woman you see that you don't like ugly isn't doing your track record any favors.
Well, neither is anything else. You took away what you valued about men, so now you don't respect them. And I responded to that by getting in shape. This is me like 9 years ago. And that got me a bunch of short flings. That was back then. These are the times that life was good. And then COVID kind of ruined it all. And now I'm old and I can't make a relationship out of that anymore. And I don't want to make one out of money. So yeah, I don't think you really understand the war you're fighting. You're just bleeding men dry and then telling them to go die alone. And then you're calling them ugly even though, you know.
I don't know who keeps on sending out the wrong messengers or who keeps on volunteering, but they need to pull them off the battlefield.
Anybody else crying in their kitchen on a Saturday night? Can we just, anyone else? So is this just like a fake dream that I've had in my head that as you go through life, it's gonna get easier? You're gonna get the husband, the house, the kids, the family, the good job, in theory, shouldn't things be getting easier? Because I'm 36 and I don't feel like my life has ever been worse. Anyone else ever feel like that? Like, I know that I've had, this is my second glass of that in the past 6 hours. So I'm not going to say I've drank too much, but I'm not going to say that I don't plan on not drinking too much. Because honestly, I was just over on the couch crying. And I decided instead of crying and having my cute little tear beard here, I would go see if there's anybody else out there that's 36. You know, 18-year-old Emily, she had everything. Dude, I had a husband. I had kids. I had a family. I had a beautiful home. I had wonderful neighbors. I had a good job. I had the same wonderful friends I have now. What do I have now? I have wonderful friends. I need to be more grateful than that. I'm healthy. I do have a good job. I have endless voices. I need to be more grateful. But when I sit here at 36 and I'm renting a room and I have to move and I don't have a husband anymore, I'm divorced, which sucks. Like, yes, it needed to happen and I'm totally at peace with that. You know, my child's passed away. I don't have other children. Like, I just feel sad. Like, that sucks. Like, and I know, like, there are so many other people that have it worse, so I'm not gonna sit here but, like, does anybody else feel like maybe, like, at 18, like, you were up here and now you're like, meow? Just me?
It's tough out here for a lot of people, especially like you said. Most people are thinking, especially after they get married, my life is going to be going up. I'm going to get another job, a better job. You know, there's going to be changes, but we're going to hit those head on. And then, you know, divorce is one thing, but like you said, you lost a child. Whew, man. My condolences, and I don't envy you, even though you said it was 8 years ago or 9 years ago. Think about, you know, you're 36 now. It was 9 years ago. He's a teenager at this point in time, right? He's close to being grown. You know, you had children at 18 years later. Good grief. He's almost grown. He's on his way out of high school. He's getting ready to go to college or maybe the military or something like that. You know, so a lot of people are feeling the same exact way. I think it quite honestly sheds light on men's mental health. Men have been talking about this sort of thing, and unfortunately, people make fun of it. You know, there's some people out there making fun of it. So men and women at some point in time need each other. And this rhetoric about, well, I don't need no man, I can do it all. Nah, don't do that. Because there's things that happen. And I think she was saying in another one of her videos, she called her friend and he's a male. And she started talking to him about things and he sat there and listened to her, right? And you guys continue to call men, well, not you, but some women out there continue to call guys useless and emotionally unavailable and not knowing how to communicate. This guy is sitting, listening to the things that she's going through. That's huge. And there are a lot of men like that will sit and listen, be in the friend zone, take you out to dinner and just let you vent. But then at the end of it, they get kicked out to the curb. This is why a lot of men feel neglected by society. They do the things they do, and some of them, unfortunately, have just stopped caring.
So I laugh because I've been sharing this social media for a little bit. I kind of started it out because I had a lot of weird situations when I was going on dates, and my best friend was like, this is absolutely wild. Let me just share it with the world. But I've been sharing things. Obviously, my target audience for other females has slowly changed, and I am mainly target audiencing men. So there's so many times that I get so many comments about like, oh, she's too much, run away, do this. And it makes me wonder, if you're a single man and the female that you're going out with starts to feel any emotions, do you just run away? I went out with somebody and I told him that I got really nervous around him, and it wasn't like a bad nerves, like, oh, I felt it in my gut and it was not gonna work. It was nervous because I started to like him. And so I got nervous because it's one of those like, ooh, I like him. Does he like me too? And the minute I told him, he was like, well, then we shouldn't work. We're done. Our energies are off. Like, what the
So a man in the comments, Noe said, it depends on the timeline. Sounds like the guy was confused on what you meant. Communication. She responded and said, true. He got annoyed. I pulled back because he asked me to be his girlfriend while we were getting hot and heavy. That is probably sounding like miscommunication. So you're thinking, oh, he only wants me because we're getting hot and heavy. He's too emotional. So I got to tell him I'm nervous. I don't know if I want to be with you. I don't know if you're serious about that. Sounds like you're overthinking it. Communication here. You guys need to have a talk about it.
If a man ever said his ex left him and he make it seem like he did everything for her and she was so unappreciative and she was so ungrateful, you're going to see exactly why that woman left. Women do not leave good men.
Bro, what the hell do y'all even be talking about, bro? What you mean women don't leave good men? Oh, man. Y'all remember that one girl that got on this app? And she was like, her ex is the perfect man. He's a great man. And he just wasn't the man for her. And he upped her standards for the next man. He was great. It was just, they weren't compatible. He was great though. And she left him, and he ended up still sending her flowers. Continue to be a good man. Continue to be a good friend. It's like, I understand that women know women, right? But women don't know women, like the dating version of women. Women don't know the relationship version of women. Women just know the group chat version, the friend version, the brunch version. They don't know like the relationship, like living with this person, being with this person, learning this person. They don't know what that's like in a relationship.
A woman in the comments, mind you, she's 47, said, a man can be considered a good man without being a good person. Women can't be good women without also being a good person. Just because you're a good man doesn't mean you're a good person. Hope that helps. It doesn't. Because at 47, once again, I would expect you to have more comprehension and understanding. He's considered a good man. If his integrity and his character is shot, guess what? He's not a good man. Done deal. Done deal.
I'm starting to feel like giving women the advice that men aren't capable of loving us and to leave them all alone in their totality or to only use them for their money is the equivalent to how society approaches schmecks with the youth by telling them to be abstinent and not teaching them safe schmecks. They're starting to parallel to me, and here's why I say that. We are never going to come to a point in time where all women just stop effing with men in their totality. We're never going to get to that point, and we're never. And the reality is, teaching women en masse to only look to men for their money is dangerous because some men use money as a control and a tactic. So I don't think that really gets to the root issue. Okay. I think we should be teaching women safe schmecks when it comes to interacting with men, in the sense that there are men out there who are safe and who are healthy and who are capable of loving us and seeing us as human. Sure, but they're the minority. The majority of men in our society are socialized to be emotionally void, are socialized to see us as objects, and socialized to not have the capacity to be healthy for us. So when you deal with males, move through them. Turn that page, turn the page, turn the page. Stop stopping at every page and trying to see the potential in it. Trying to help make it more. Turn the page. If it ain't what you want, turn that page. And only stop to read a page that shows you it's worth being read. I think that should be the more appropriate advice we give, because women are going to continue to interact with men, going to continue to date them and marry them and have their kids. So instead of trying to get them to stop altogether forever, why don't we talk about the reality, which is there is a minority group and the majority, and the majority of men you will encounter will be in that majority group. So move through them. Don't linger. Don't wait to see if he comes around. Move through and on to the next. I don't think that telling the girls to leave men alone forever and hopefully you can come across a good guy is the most sound advice, because the reality is, if you have began to believe that all men are capable of love, all men are healthy, and all men are trash, what's gonna happen when you come across a guy who isn't? You're going to be so fixated on figuring out if he's not that you'll even get to see that he is. And I just don't, I don't know. I feel like this advice is not realistic. And I'm starting to question the validity of it. Yeah.
But you're saying only stop when a page is showing you that it's worth being read. You need reading comprehension skills. You need to understand what the story is saying. Sometimes you don't understand it, so guess what you do? You would ask, hey, librarian, what's a good book for X, Y, and Z? Librarian, because they've studied and they know and they've gone to school for that stuff, they're educated in it, would know, here's the books that you're looking for in this section. This is probably going to be a good one for you. Why don't you start there? They don't know your exact interests, but they know kind of the general area that you're on, so they can point you in the general direction. So when you go there, you say, okay, I like this one. What do you know about it? Maybe they don't know everything about it, but once again, because they're librarians, they could point you in the direction of, this book is this is when this type of book came out, this is what they were writing about, the general ideology of what the authors were talking about and what they were saying in a certain time period. If they're really educated, they're really smart, they're really good. And you need to listen to that and then decide, okay, I'm going to read this book. And when they tell you, they're going to give you instruction and direction on what to read, how to read it, right? You have cliff notes, you have summaries, too many things out here before you even start reading a book. But nowadays, because a lot of women want the thrill, let me tie it back in for you. A lot of women want the thrill, and so they just start picking up the book. They walk past the librarian. They don't read no subtitles, no cliff notes, no leaflets or whatever they call, I forget what they call them, basically the short summary of the book. They don't read none of that. They just start diving in, and halfway through they realize, oh, I really don't like this book at all. I've wasted my time. And a man could have told you, father, a grandfather, a nephew, cousin that's a man could have told you, you are not gonna like that book. Start looking in this general area. But because you've been listening to your friends who have no idea about men or what's going on with men, and even the friends that do have an idea, you don't listen to them, you listen to the toxic friends. And you end up in the position that you're in. And so you start to make silly comments like, men don't believe in love, and here's where we are today. Accountability.
All right, I really need a man's perspective on something. I have plenty of women's perspectives, but I need a man to chime in. Kindly if possible. Tried to talk to my husband yesterday. It did not go well. I told him that I needed more from him. I told him that I expected more, that I wanted a partner. And then I asked him, do you honestly think that just going to work and bringing home money is all that you have to do? When I also work and I help pay bills and I pay for a lot of things. And I take care of everything else. I take care of the house. I take care of the kids. I take care of the pets. I do absolutely everything. I said, do you really think that that is fair? Do you really think that that's how it should be? And he basically said yes. And I told him that I feel like I've been saying the same thing for 10 years, the same things over and over, asking for the same things over and over again. Like I said, his Zins, right? He finally quit smoking. And before the Zins, it was the cigarettes, but now it's the Zins. And they're all over the house. They're in the bed. They're in the couch. They're on the floor. They're everywhere. They're in the coffee mugs that he leaves outside on the fence. I said, it's the Zins. It's the dirty clothes on the floor instead of throwing them in the hamper. It's the empty beer bottles. There were 2 on the couch that I picked up the other day. There were 2 laying in our front yard, which is so embarrassing. And I'm bringing these things up to him. And he calls me the C word, which is crazy. Am I crazy for being upset about these things? Am I really actually crazy for expecting that he pick up those things? Should I really be picking up after him just because he goes to work and brings home a paycheck? And I also work. Granted, it's only a couple days a week, a few days a week, but I'm paying bills. I'm paying for everything that comes into our house. I'm running out of money. He's keeping tax returns I mean, he sends me a little money here and there, but I'm running out of money and I'm struggling, especially these past couple weeks because my shoulder has been injured. And I told him, not once have you come in to help me. Not once have you done the dishes, taken out the recycling, taken out the trash. He's like, well, I've been working in the backyard pulling weeds, which is a whole other thing because I've been begging him to take care of the front yard because the front yard is embarrassing. It looks horrible. It's so overgrown. And I've been asking him, will you please take care of the front lawn and pull the weeds? And instead he goes and does the backyard. And the backyard looks great, but nobody sees the backyard. Nobody goes in the backyard. I asked him the other day, the first time I've ever actually asked him if he would make an appointment for me to get my oil changed. Just call and make me an appointment. I usually do it all by myself. I take the car in, I check my own oil, I take care of my own tires. I don't ask that man for help with anything like that. I fixed our toilet last month. I fixed our toilet. And then the other day he brings up his plumber friend, and I was like, you have a plumber friend and I've been fixing our toilets? Like, am I crazy? Am I actually crazy? Because that man looked at me and told me I was crazy. And I told him, look, we are on borrowed time at this point. I told him 10 years of me asking for all of this is a little embarrassing at this point. And I told him I've started over before. I will do it again. Because you guys are right. Like, the women are right. I am showing my daughters what to expect. He is showing them what to expect. He is teaching them that as long as they marry a man and he's got a job and he brings home money, they are responsible for literally every other single thing. And asking for help is ludicrous in the home. I even said, okay, so let's say you bring in this much money and I bring in this much money. Then, since I do this much housework, could you do this much housework? So it's balanced, right? I help you out by picking up the slack, you know, financially, paying for the electric bill, I'm paying for the gas, I'm paying for insurance, I'm paying for all of the food that comes into the house, I'm paying for everything that comes into the house. I pay for everything with the animals, everything for the kids. So therefore, could you at the very least pick up after yourself? And the man scoffs at me and basically just makes me feel like everything that I do is just, compared to him going to work and bringing home a paycheck, is just so not important. And it sucks because today is Father's Day. And I got up early before everyone else and I made bacon, sausage, eggs, cinnamon rolls, made him coffee, even though he blows me off every single Mother's Day. Every single Mother's Day, that man blows me off. Oh, I couldn't afford to get you anything. Nothing. Not a card, not a flower from the garden, nothing. And I still cannot bear the thought of making him feel the way he makes me feel on Mother's Days. Cannot bear it. And all of those of you screaming at me in the comments, you know, you're way too nice, you're way too nice. I have been told that my entire life. My dad, my entire life, has been saying, girl, you need to grow a backbone. You need to stand up for yourself. And it's true. And it's not like, oh, woe is me, I'm just so nice. Like, I can be mean too. And I was mean yesterday. I lashed out yesterday. I full on lashed out. That is what happens. I stay quiet for too long and I do too much for too long and I don't make my expectations known for too long. And I ask for the same things over and over and over and they get ignored over and over and over. And then suddenly the empty beer bottles are too much. Suddenly the Zins all over the house are too much. Suddenly the coffee cups left on the fence are too much. Suddenly the dishes piling up because I'm injured and the recycling piling up because I'm injured is too much. Really, me being injured this past week, 2 weeks, has shown me a lot. Every time I'm sick, I learn a lot. I remember when I had COVID and I was in bed for 3 days, and I am a tough woman, man. I do not go down like that. And I was down for 3 days. And I remember getting out of bed and my house was trashed. It was disgusting. And I remember getting up and there he was, laying on the couch, playing his video games. And I thought, this man does not care about me. And I told him that yesterday. I said, you do not care about my feelings at all. You really don't. You do not care about how I feel. And the man didn't even argue with me. So, am I crazy? Am I crazy? He said it at least 4 or 5 times yesterday. And he laughed as he said it. Like, it's just so funny to him. He goes and he works and he brings home a paycheck, and that should be enough. And I remember my ex saying the exact same thing. I said, you really think that all you have to do is go to work and make money? And he said, yes. And back then I didn't have a job. I didn't work. I was a stay-at-home mom to 2 very little girls. And so I thought maybe he's right. And I was so young. Also, I was very young. And I hate it because I'm not fun anymore. I never want to go out. I never want to do anything. I'm too tired. I know the women are going to have their say, but I want to hear from the men.
So it sounds like you got a divorce previously and you got into another relationship. It sounds like he is actually the breadwinner. I know you keep on saying, I go to work and I pay bills. Granted, it's 2 days out of the week. He's the breadwinner. He's probably working long hours if he has a daughters, and a wife at home. If he's got to pay all of the bills in this economy, then he's probably working long hours. He's making a lot of money. I'm not sure, but I would assume that he's working long hours to pay for a lot of this stuff. You're working a couple of days is more so probably a job to kind of help the bills in terms of it's kind of like extra spending money, if that makes any sense. Well, I want to do this. And he probably told you, well, if you're going to do that, you might want to get you a job. Well, you don't really need a job. It's just like a little extra stuff that you want to get. And so you want to get your job so you have allowance. Okay. So I think I get what you're saying, being messy. I definitely hate that myself. But it sounds like there's something not being said here. And then just listening to you, I figured out that, I thought earlier on in the video that you might have been a single mom bringing in children into the relationship. Honestly and truly, I don't want to say his fault, but it's his decision that he made to get into the relationship with you because you have children. That's what he wanted to do, right? I don't want to condone him just not trying around the house, but I think it's important if you're working that job to start saving for how you can improve your life in the house. If you guys don't have a dishwasher, I'm reading right here, $1,100, $1,100 to $1,700 for somebody to come in and install the dishwasher plus buy it. So you buy it and then somebody comes in and installs it. $1,100, $1,700, and that saves you loads of time if you don't already have a dishwasher. Washing clothes, once again, you want something easier, get an air fryer, crock pot. There's loads of things that are easy and healthy that you can do to not just be a better mom, but a more efficient person. Once again, this guy should probably be doing more around the house, but I think it comes down to him doing his thing, you doing your thing. I don't think you're saying, because there are conversations it sounds like that were had where you might, I'm nice, I'm this and that. My dad said I need to grow a backbone. You probably said something or done something like, say, for instance, I don't want you doing the backyard. You need to do the front yard. Certain things like that you say where the man is taking on his interest, where you can help him out. You want the front yard done. You go in the front yard and you do it. He did the backyard. He won't even call to make me an oil appointment. You don't need to make an oil change appointment. There are plenty of oil places out here where you can just drive up and go there and get an oil change. That's the end of it. You don't even have to make an appointment for half of these things. You walk in, you're probably gonna have to wait a little bit. Really what you want him to do is go up there and take the car. That's really what you want him to do. You want him to go up there and handle all that. All the car and maintenance stuff, all the hard laborious stuff, which a lot of women do. And that's understandable, right? But you keep on whittling down what he does to, you just make a paycheck, so you don't think you have to. The paycheck is more than you're making. And you just verified and confirmed that in your last relationship when you weren't working at all. You decided to make incremental changes in this relationship and say, okay, I want a little bit of my money, so I'm going to come in and I'm going to work just a little bit, but I'm only going to work 2 days because I really don't want to do too much. He's got most of the bills, right? I pay the electricity bill now. I pay for the groceries. I pay this and that, the insurance. Pretty substantial. I'll give it to you. But you're not really paying those bills in order to help out. You're paying those bills to keep score. That's what it sounds like. Well, I'm paying it. I'm contributing to the house, and I should have some say so. You guys are at war with each other, and something needs to be figured out. Period. End of story. It sounds more like you're upset because he's not validating your feelings. He's not listening, and he's not saying to you, okay, I'm going to do exactly what you say. And then it sounds like, based on what you're saying, you don't really, honestly and truly, it's the same. You don't really have a lot of interest in what he's got going on. You don't really value what he's doing, and you're complaining about it online. That's what that sounds like to me. That's what I hear without you saying that. So once again, I don't want to condone him and what he's doing around the house. You want attention, you want a validation from your husband. I get that. But I think you're definitely leaving some stuff out, and why he might be acting the way he's acting. Quite possible that he's just a terrible person, and that's just the way he acts. But this is the second time now. This is the second time you've been with a guy like this. So, I mean, you can get divorced, but I don't know, man.